Novak Djokovic and Serena Williams are among the players who will return to action later today. Defending champion Roger Federer was upset on day 3 by Ukrainian Sergei Stakhovsky.
Ranked 116th, Stakhovsky had never beaten a top 10 player before. Now here's the owner of one of the biggest Wimbledon upsets on record.
On the women's side, number 2, Victoria Azarenka was forced to withdraw after a knee injury. She blamed court conditions. As Pedro mentioned, 6 others have also pulled out because of injuries. It is very slippery out there on the grass.
Roger Federer, 7 times the champion and arguably the greatest player of all time, humbled by the world number 116. Sergei Stakhovsky of Ukraine is a new name to most, but his victory came with a wonderful display of old-fashioned serve and volley tennis. Federer, dismissed before the quarter-finals for the first time in 37 Grand Slam tournaments, had no answer. It was all good news for Andy Murray, who eased into the 3rd round with a straight sets victory over Taiwan's Liu Yen-sun and saw his route to the final open up. He had been due to play Federer in the semi-finals. This was a humbling defeat for Roger Federer, but he was far from alone on a day of slips and surprises that left falling seeds with limbs as bruised as their egos. And some of them chose to blame the most famous playing surface in sport. Maria Sharapova was clearly unhappy during her humbling defeat to Portuguese qualifier Michelle Larcher de Brito. Afterwards, she was slightly more measured. The volley of criticism began with world number 2 Victoria Azarenka, who took a bad fall in her first-round match on Monday and after withdrawing, called on organisers to examine the state of the courts. A record 7 players quit the men's and women's singles through injury, taking the total to 10 in just 3 days. The All England club deny the courts are to blame for the high number of withdrawals and say the grass has been prepared in the same way as any other year. What is not in doubt is that the falls and withdrawals have left British fans dreaming that Andy Murray might be the last man standing next Sunday.
It's normal that after all of a sudden losing early, after being in the quarters 36 times, people feel it's different. And you guys hyped it up so much, me playing rough, and we're both out, so there's a letdown, clearly. Maybe also sometimes a bit disrespectful towards the other opponents, actually, who are in the draw as well. And I think it sends a bit of a message to you guys as well, that maybe you shouldn't do that so often next time around.
I don't think I've ever fallen 3 times in a match before in my career, so that was a little strange, but that's certainly not an excuse. I think today I've seen a lot of players fall and take a few hits and a few injuries, so I think that's just part of the game and part of what we have to deal with.